EV cars have become more and more popular here in Malaysia, but petrol cars are still very much in demand. So which is better? Let's take the Chery EV, the Emonda E5 for example. It's a low consumption 15 kilowatts per 100 kilometers with a 61 kilowatt battery. That'll get you a range of about 430 kilometers, which will get you to Penang and then a little bit back towards KL. As for petrol cars, let's have a look at the Proton S70. It's got a 50-litre tank and consumes about 6.2 litres per 100 kilometres. So after a very complicated math calculation, that's about 802 kilometres range in total. Both cars have good consumption. However, it's very clear which one's the winner. The petrol car, with almost double the range. It's now 2024, so of course we've got more charging bays available than before. There are some places, of course, like Petrol, that only have one charging station, so owning an EV car up there might be a little bit difficult. As for petrol cars, you know there are petrol stations everywhere. The other day, I really needed fuel. It took me a little while to get to one, which I was quite surprised by, but at least I knew there was a petrol station coming up on the road. Whereas EV charging stations, I'm not so sure. Now let's compare the price of charging or fueling your car. For EVs, Shell is charging about 1 ringgit 30 for each kilowatt per hour. Now let's look at the Chery Emonda E5. It takes a 61 kilowatt charge and Shell are now charging 1 ringgit 30 per kilowatt. So if you do the maths, that's 80 ringgit for a full battery. If you were to charge at home, however, I've heard you could charge your Chery for as low as 35 ringgit. If you're looking at RON 95 petrol cars, that's about 2 ringgit and 5 per litre. Now the S70 is a 50 litre tank, so with my quick calculation, that'll weigh you in at about 102 ringgit 50 per tank, which is about 20 ringgit extra than the Chery Emonda E5. So if I were to compare them face to face, it's 20 ringgit extra for the petrol car, but you get, you know, maybe 40% extra range than the EV. So I think petrol still might win. However, if you want to go full electric, you're probably not going to care about the price. How much does an EV vehicle usually cost? Well, anywhere from 100,000 to 300,000 for Netta, BYD, and of course you've got the Chery Emonda E5 coming in at 146,800 ringgit. Now if you look at petrol cars, the price is of course a lot lower, anywhere from around 20,000 all the way to 200,000, like the Protons and Petrols. Moving on, then you have Hondas, Toyotas, etc., so on and so forth. So of course there's more choice and the prices will be lower due to more competition. Now since we're comparing petrol and EV, let's take a look at the Proton S70. It's around 92,000 ringgit and that comes in at about 52,000 ringgit cheaper than Chery Emonda E5. Both petrol and electric vehicles are very smooth to drive. Both are very refined nowadays. It's very hard to tell the difference. But with EV, you get a huge amount of torque on demand and they're very fun to drive. However, let's talk about the Proton S70. It's got a turbo. Turbos are fun too. So what I'd say is it's really down to driver preference. Okay, 2024, I'm still probably going to choose petrol if I had to choose between EV and petrol. However, I would choose the hybrid, and I think that hybrid is the future because you can have plug-in hybrid with a large battery and still use fuel, and then you have options as to which you're able to use. And on top of that, if your electric vehicle battery dies and you have something like a Prius, putting the foot on the brake, slowing the car down, there are ways to recharge that hybrid battery and give you back some more energy to increase your range. So I have to say that hybrid is probably the way to go. Let us know your thoughts on EV versus fuel in the comments down below. Maybe you prefer electric vehicle and all that amazing talk, or the economy and ease of use of petrol. Do tell. And if you like hybrid, write it in the comments down below. Write hybrid in big capital letters and we'll review a hybrid car for you next. Until next time, get fueled. I hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, make sure you like, subscribe and hit that notification button. And be sure to check out some of the other videos we've got over here. Maybe that one, this one, that one. Remember, get fueled.